What is up? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. In this video, we're going to go ahead and cover the specs of the game alongside pre-registration and how this could potentially shake out for a future, release of the game and for a lot of people when it comes to playing the game and all that other good stuff. Hope you all enjoy this though. Subscribe if you're new, of course, for more Dragon Ball Legends content. That is what we strive to bring you here on the channel, just Dragon Ball centric content and a bunch of other anime games and stuff of that nature. So, pre-registration is available on the website dble.bn-ent.net. So if you come over here, you scroll down, you can go ahead and click on pre-registration, and it'll allow you to sign up for the pre-registration. So in fact, before we proceed, I want to go ahead and shoot over to the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter, because it seems the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter is where we're going to get a lot of the information pertaining to the game, which is fine. This is what they do for a lot of games. So if you don't have a Twitter account, by the way, you definitely will want to create one. Follow your boy as well. Link is down below in the description. Shameless plug. Either way, so what they're saying is, first and foremost, pre-registration is available worldwide on the 20th. That means that if you come to the website, you will have an option to pre-register on iOS and Android. But literally 20 minutes ago, this is what I'm saying, I actually made a video earlier, about 30 minutes ago. It went live, and then within a few minutes of video being live, they tweeted this stuff. So that's why I'm coming back to this again, because this actually invalidated a couple of things that I talked about. To use Apple's pre-registration system, you must have an OS version that is 11.2 or higher. So you have to have iOS version 11.2 or higher. So you have to be updated to be able to use that. Please make sure to update your OS to its latest. See your OS version by going through Settings, General, About, yada yada for the iOS. And then when it comes to Android, to pre-register, you need Android version 6.0 or higher, 2.1 gigabytes of RAM or higher, which is actually different. Certain smartphones are not compatible to play. So what I mean by this being a little different, and this is not storage space for the people that are not familiar with what RAM is. It's not storage space in particular. It's a different subset of memory, basically. So in order to meet these specs, right, you have to meet those specs in order to actually be able to pre-register the game. Now, my initial video, for a little bit of context, actually talked about how pre-registration wasn't officially open. So basically, in a way, the people that were getting the device error saying that it's not supported was technically supposed to happen, and they were saying it was. And then they say right here, actually, the game has no specs yet. This was actually yesterday, I believe. In fact, this was this morning. So about, what is that, 15 hours ago or something like that? I don't know. Earlier this morning, they said over on the European Bandai Namco Twitter that the game has no specs yet, but the current beta has some. And then these were the specs for it. As you see, the RAM was actually different, and you can see the disparity if you, and I'm going to come back to this, you can see the disparity if you go over to the actual website, click pre-registration. In fact, not that. You click on closed beta, because the closed beta is available as well. And then these were the specs. In fact, it's still listed as being the specs for the closed beta. So this is a little bit of an inconsistency. It may wind up that the game winds up needing 3 gigabytes of RAM and will further undergo some sort of optimization to allow it to run better towards the 2 gigabytes of RAM area on Android devices, because there is no actual closed beta for iOS devices. But you know, a little bit of inconsistency there. But basically what they're saying, I would try to at least adhere to these requirements. Make sure your OS is fully up to date. And if you're on Android, make sure that even though it says there's no update available, that if it's an older phone, you know, you might not, you know, your device may be fully updated, but it may be as high as it can go. That's not fully updated overall when it comes to Android versions, because isn't there an Android version 7? I'm an iOS user, so forgive me. But even then, if you're on like Android 5, for example, OS 5, you can go as high as you can, and it limits you at 5, and you know you can't get to 6, right? But it won't let you update further simply because your device doesn't meet the requirements to go to the next operating system. So when it comes down to that, a lot of people have been getting the issue saying, oh, device is not supported. And we're going to come back to this in just a moment. So let's go ahead and talk about device is not supported as an error message. That's something that a lot of people have gotten, myself included, on my Android tablet. So if we come down to pre-registration and you click on pre-register, and if you're doing this from the phone, this will shoot you over to the Google Play app. And right here, you won't have this button that says pre-register. And it'll basically say your device is not supported. Now, there is a workaround for that. A lot of people, when it comes to applications that are not supported on their devices, they go over to just the Google browser and they just type in, we'll do it for Dokkan, Dokkan Battle APK, right? In this case, that's what we're searching, but when it comes to Dragon Ball Legends, when it is officially released, you type in, oh, Dragon Ball Legends APK. Now, this can be a bit of a hassle unless you find a specific site, like, I guess APK Pure, I believe, is pretty good, but unless you find a site that'll keep you updated, right? Or just another store, aside from the Google store, that'll keep you updated. And this trick only works on Android as well, of course, because we haven't talked about iOS too much. We'll get to that in a moment. But in the terms of Dragon Ball, I know that Dokkan, excuse me, I know that DBZ Space does have APKs that are usable. So if you come over here, you download this, it'll allow you to go ahead and download and install the game and naturally be able to play it, even if, for example, your device didn't support Dokkan. It gave you that exact same error. So you can apply that methodology over to Dragon Ball Legends and its release. Now, that may or may not work for you, though, because even though you're kind of making a backdoor way to installing the application and not going through the official store, you might still experience some sort of issues, graphical issues. The device may not be able to push it the way that it's supposed to be pushed, meaning that the game will lag or things like that. So you might be able to get it to work. It might crash on you. It can't really determine. That's kind of what the stores are there for. But there are times where it's going to flat out lie to you simply because I've seen other people tweet me saying, hey, my phone is literally less than 8 months old. For not just, I've had it for 8 months, but it's literally a model that's less than 8 months old. And it should be supported, but it isn't supported. But my old phone is supported somehow. My phone that's like a couple years old is somehow supported. And, it's really wonky. Of course, technology changes very, very commonly in the modern society. So that's part of the reason why. Now, another thing a lot of people have talked about to me is coming to the website, and I want to kind of debunk this a little bit. If you come to the website, it doesn't give you any hassle. You just click pre-register. It says, oh, yeah, cool, you're good. This will basically only, from my understanding, send you a notification when the game has its official release. You'll get a notification on your Android device. You'll click that notification. It'll take you back to this page on the Android device in the Google Store. But you'll probably still have the exact same issue because it can't download it through the official store. So you will have to use the APK method, and then you'd go from there. Now, here's the final scenario in terms of this when it comes to Android. They could potentially, again, like I said earlier, optimize it to where it works on more devices. And I don't have that source pulled up here somewhere. I did actually have that, so forgive me. But they did say in here, and some of the things that I had pulled up earlier, that they are going to potentially make some changes. It's not a given, but potentially make some changes to it. And when it comes to Android, or excuse me, iOS, that's really, really cookie cutter quick because they basically give the option to show exactly what is or is not supported when it comes down to the phones or the tablets. iPhone 5S requires at least iOS 10. You can't do the pre-registration with iOS 10, but you can install it when it's officially released, basically, and your phone has to be at least an iPhone 5S. So every other model can work from there. That's really, really as simple as it gets. Android, has a few other backdoor ways. If iOS says you will work, you will work. If your phone meets the requirements and is one of these phones, without going into the specs, it's just one of these phones, one of these iPads, it will work definitively, and you won't have that issue. Also, a lot of people are using this as the official release date. It's expected on June 14th as well. So keep that in mind. It could come out literally in just under 3 months. So we're right around the corner. So for the final thing, guys, make sure that you do go ahead and pre-register at the very least through the website. And like I said, it might work for you. But at the very least, through the website, because it does help out the community. You see, we got all of these goals here, over 530,000, participants. We get all of these other requisite, prizes, basically. And if we go over to the Twitter, they actually announced that it has been less than 5 days, but the number of pre-registration is over 530. So we've actually already accomplished all of these in less than 5 days. That is insane, especially when I look at some other games and their pre-registrations, because a lot of games do this exact same little campaign pre-registration, but some of them are kind of struggling. So this one actually has already pushed through it in less than 5 days. So we are currently preparing additional milestones as well as in-game items to keep up with the overwhelming response. This game is already off to a very, very good start without even coming out. So I just wanted to point you guys out, or put that out to you guys, excuse me. Good work on all of the pre-orders and stuff like that of the application. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Bounce ideas off of each other. But for now, again, as far as issues with installing the application or pre-registering, things can change in the future. We just have to wait a little bit longer to see what happens if they decide to change the application spec requirements and things of that nature. So anyways, have an awesome day. I'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Take it easy.